Hello, Banzom here, welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Now, it's currently July, which it means it's time to take a look back at every single game I played in the month of June. Now, it's safe to say I have played quite a few different games, and we're going to get into what those games are in just a sec, but if you do go on to enjoy this video, please leave a like and subscribe if you are new here. Let's just get straight into it, the first game being Hogwarts Legacy. I bought this game roughly a year ago and it's just been sitting in my library since, and I thought, why not give it a go in June? So that is exactly what I did. So I think Hogwarts Legacy does a fantastic job of just capturing the overall aesthetic, the vibe and the spirit of the Harry Potter universe, and it does it very well. The sound design in this game is really good, like the music really does match the vibe of what you'd expect if you're going around Hogwarts and the surrounding areas. However, the story for Hogwarts Legacy is not the strongest. It's okay, it does the job, it's serviceable, it's not terrible, but it's just not amazing. And unfortunately for a game called Hogwarts Legacy, you do spend a lot of time outside of Hogwarts, which is a shame, and you are a student and you do end up doing less studenty things, if that makes any sense. It's not like you can go and attend classes like a regular Hogwarts student. There is a couple of classes you can do which is tied to the main quest, but apart from that, you have assignments, but when you do go to the classes to complete them assignments, it's just a cutscene and then you learn a spell. So to be honest, for people that just want to roleplay as a Hogwarts student, there isn't that option to do so. Which is a shame because Hogwarts Castle is fantastic in this game. There just isn't a lot to do in it. There's a couple of side missions and some collectibles to get, but apart from that, a lot of stuff is outside of Hogwarts, which I do like, but I'm a bit frustrated that there isn't a lot to do in Hogwarts when the game is called Hogwarts Legacy. Now let's talk a little bit more positively about Hogwarts Legacy, because I did really enjoy this game. I think the gameplay and the combat is really good in this game. It seems super simple when you look at the gameplay, but it isn't simple. It's quite in depth and it's quite enjoyable. The customization in this game is pretty good. One thing I also didn't like about this game was the fact that it required you to be a certain level to progress the main story, which meant I had to do side quests that I didn't really want to do. Now, if they do make another Hogwarts Legacy game, which I hope they do, I hope they add Quidditch, I hope they add Diagon Alley, some other locations as well, and I hope they give us more things to do as a Hogwarts student inside of Hogwarts. But that was Hogwarts Legacy. Let's move on to the next game. The next game that I played was Gears of War 2. Now, this is my first time playing Gears of War 2. I played the first one, and it doesn't do anything particularly differently from the first one, but I would say the story in the second one is 10 times better. The story has more emotion, and it just overall is a better story. The set pieces in this game were fantastic as well. The game had you going up snowy mountains, flying reavers in the air and battling mid-air on the reavers, going inside the body of a giant worm. The sheer variety of missions compared to the first game is why I did like Gears of War 2 a lot more than the first one. I loved the first one, but the second one improved heavily. There was a variety of different things to do in each mission. And I mean, what more can I say about the awesome gameplay that is Gears of War? I don't know whether it improves in the later games, but to be honest, there isn't much to improve on because it's bloody amazing. I did try to connect to some multiplayer games, but there just isn't anyone playing anymore. So from the awesome story and the awesome set pieces in Gears of War 2, it overall is just a fantastic game, and with the FPS boost on next gen consoles on Xbox, it is genuinely a really great experience. So that was my opinions on Gears of War 2. Let's move on to the next game. The next game that I played in June was probably my favourite game that I played in June, and that was Firewatch. I was seeing this game all over my TikTok For You page, like in June, so I thought, let's give it a download, let's give it a go, and let's see what it's about. And I am so glad I did. This game was magnificent, it was beautiful, it was just so good. In Firewatch, you play as a guy on his own in a massive national park. Your job is to make sure you take care of fires and watch fires in the forest, making sure they don't get out of hand. You're all alone and all you've got is a radio to talk to this one woman on the other side. The game is short and sweet, it's emotionally gripping, and the visuals are really, really good. Look, I don't want to talk about this game too much because I don't want to spoil it. I think this is a game you have to go and experience for yourself. So I'm not going to talk about it too much, but I will say the voice acting in this game is fantastic. But yeah, experience this game for yourself. Go give it a go. It's fantastic. It's a beautiful indie game. The second to last game that I played in June was Resident Evil 3. Now, I said I loved Resident Evil 2 in the last video, and I said I was going to be playing some more Resident Evils. Unfortunately, Resident Evil 3 just wasn't as good as the second. Now, I've never played the original Resident Evil 3 or even the Resident Evil 2 for that matter, so I don't know how these games compare to the remakes, but Resident Evil 2 was a masterpiece and this game just fell short. And that's no pun intended for how short the game actually is. On my Xbox it says I spent 4 hours and 27 minutes completing the main story, and in-game it was roughly around 3 hours and 30 minutes. And yes, you could make it longer by trying to go for quicker runs, trying to get the world record or something, or trying to go for all the achievements in the game. But apart from that, once you complete the main story, there isn't a whole lot to do. And if you were going to go for the achievements, I doubt it would take you much longer than 10 hours anyway, unless you're just not really good at the game. I was kind of disappointed with the lack of puzzles in Resident Evil 3 compared to Resident Evil 2. Now that might just be because Resident Evil 3 didn't have any puzzles originally, but I just felt that it didn't do as well as the second game. And Nemesis in this game just is disappointing. He's not as good as Mr. X, and the boss battles for the most part are quite boring. They're nothing special, and you know, it's just a bit disappointing really. Overall, the game is just frustrating that it's just not as good as I was hoping. Yeah, it's fun, but you know, it's a bit of a letdown if I'm being really honest. Disappointment is all I've got to say about Resident Evil 3. Let's talk a little bit more positively. Let's go on to our final game that I played in June, which was Mad Max. Now, Mad Max was a solid open world game. It has a very, very good combat system. It reminds me a lot of Batman Arkham series, which is great. The graphics still hold up almost 9 years later, which is awesome. It's also got that frame rate boost on next gen consoles, which is great. The story in this game isn't anything special, but it isn't bad for the most part. I liked a lot of the characters in the game, like Chumbucket was really cool. It definitely captured the aesthetic and the vibe of a Mad Max universe. But I'm a little bit disappointed with the driving in this game. It felt a bit weird, which is a bit of a frustration considering the game is about cars. And look, I know it's set in the open, like, wasteland, and I don't expect a McLaren, but fuck me, the cars feel like shit. The core gameplay loop was, you know, similar to Ubisoft games. I didn't really care too much about completing all of the different things. I kind of just did the main story and that was it. But overall, like, it's a super solid game, and that's all I've got to say about Mad Max. It's definitely worth giving a go. It's definitely quite good fun. The combat's great, and yeah, it's overall really good. So that was all the games I played in June. Let me know what games you've played. Let me know what games that you think I should play in the comments. But yeah, overall, I had some fun playing some different games in June. I'll be interested to see what I'll be playing in July. I don't even know what I'm going to be playing in July. Currently, I'm playing through quite a big game at the moment, so that'll be exciting to talk about. But yeah, overall, I enjoy making these videos. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.